campus hires, right, or recent college recruits that have military background. All these are experienced hires. I'm just.
No, I heard someone say it was campus.
Just campus.
What I was talking about was experience. Experience veterans.
Didn't someone just say they did something on campus?
We have a campus talent summit that we do out in Minnesota. Again, we only have one diversity recruiter. We're trying to expand it to our whole team. So she does a lot on her end as far as networking. We're trying to recruit actively. We haven't had a lot of success in that space just yet. Locally, we've been just kind of finding them. Whether they're coming out of ROTC now that they were in school, served, came back, went to school, we're just kind of finding them at this point. Is how it's, especially from like Rutgers and things like that. We get a lot of volume out of there.
Okay, everybody, it's 2 o'clock, and it's going to wrap up our first segment. I think we could probably go longer with this, but we're going to take a 15-minute break. Meet me back here at 2:15, and we're going to be discussing, after I'm sure there's going to be, I don't know if we're going to have enough time, but we're going to talk about creating a strategy and tactics for finding and engaging with diverse candidates. So see you back at 2:15.
You can do that. You can undo this. Yeah, great. So
I will. I got a book right here. I know I hold there and I got my dreams crossed. I'm like, well, I used to. I hear the one. Yeah, of course. The Wi-Fi.
You will keep doing it. You should get one across the building.
It was so close. Yeah.
I want to take a picture because my uncle ended up over nuts.
I have a couple folks downstairs and then I'm going to
They've been with her now. Yeah. Oh, Christine. Oh, I just sent you a Google Voice, and my phone is off. Okay. You're very nice. How you doing?
We speaking on for 5 minutes. I definitely recognize you. We were recording it. Okay. So you missed 45 minutes. The stuff you missed was unbelievably fantastic, and you'll never get it back again. The rest of your lives will just be hollow and empty. And I mean, you probably, you should probably just like go and use what's happening in Montana or something like that. No, in all seriousness, even not that you're gonna watch it tonight.
Yeah.
But it would be there. Okay. So like when you get to the office tomorrow or later on, you'll be able to just like turn on the video. Yeah. Oh, sorry, we you know, there's particularly for security to call in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna told us that.
If they had like 3 people on there,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
you don't probably, they probably call one of the guys he was in saw that, so they didn't call him. So, anyway, so,
Yeah. Okay.
so I'm just get you set up.
Yeah, right.
So,
So,
just grab a couple of chairs and sit down. Oh,
maybe it could be over there. I'm not sure if in order anymore.
pretty close.
Okay. Well, we're here to just write your first name and by the seat wherever it's open. There's an agenda already at each seat. Okay. So you don't have to worry about that on this market here. And then it's a little late in the game, but you'll tell me a question that you want to answer during the discussion or something you would like to share. Okay, this can be yours. Did I get it? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. You're welcome.
So there was, yeah, so there was, if you guys want to sit together.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, guy who's here on the seat, I'm pretty sure that this seat is now empty because Judith Verizon's here and she's gone for the rest of the day. She's in meetings. And then, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So, you can make the executive decision to slide seats one over. First of all, he's a guy in the airport, pretty oblivious as to what happens now.
Okay.
Not to generalize, but it's true.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I'm one of the only TA people out here. Our whole group is out in Minnesota.
Oh, you're not from there?
No, I'm under the UHG umbrella.
Oh, okay.
So a little different.
I used to work with you. Still there.
Honestly, it's way too many people for me to keep up with. I have no idea.
Well, it's a big organization.
It's insane, but my team is only 7 recruiters for college recruitment. A little crazy.
We're a little smaller organization. Here's my university team right here.
I actually think one of my friends joined your company about a year ago. I don't know if she would have been to your college recruitment. I forget what she's doing now. Michelle Imparato?
Yeah. Yeah, she was a corporate trainee.
Yeah, she worked for me when I was a manager in retail for a couple of years. Yeah.
Still with us?
Great. Oh, is she good?
Yeah. It's just
That's
because
awesome.
she goes BSU. Is a service in the
Awesome. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
She's really great.
She was handpicked by Casey and
Oh, yeah? Awesome. Did you really? Yeah, I put her in my leadership program at VS. We worked together there, and we're still friends after we both left, so it's been nice. Courtney Club? Yeah, you actually know. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was like a cult there. It was a little frightening. A little frightening. But she got out at a good time.
Oh, yeah, right?
Yeah. Well, literally, you're right on the corner.
Yeah, there was some probably.
Backside.
No, that's a good question. So down there, most part, yeah, this guy, Oh, yeah. Not a lot of stuff.
Oh, I.
Yeah, that's one argument. Listen to the bell. All right, we're gonna resume with the second subject area for the boot camp. And again, welcome back to our college recruiting boot camp today, which is on how to recruit and hire diverse STEM candidates and grads. My name is Andrea McKeown-Henderson, and I am one of the national account managers at College Recruiter, and I work primarily with small and medium-sized companies on their recruiting efforts and strategies, as well as facilitating boot camps like we are today, as well as our webinars. Again, joining me from College Recruiter is Stephen Rothberg, who is our president and founder, and Grace Palmer, who is our client services representative. Again, just a little background on College Recruiter. We're the leading niche job board when it comes to students who are looking for new grad opportunities or for students who are looking for internship opportunities. Most of our clients are Fortune 1000 companies, and we help them find diverse STEM candidates and have executed on their behalf various branding and recruitment campaigns. So the second part of our discussion today is on recruiting, creating a strategy and tactics for finding and engaging with those candidates. I'm looking for something on my computer because I want to share some information with you, but I'm going to kick off this discussion with the first question. What are some strategies that HR have for targeting and engaging diverse STEM students outside of reaching out to diverse student clubs and organizations? Okay, go ahead, you can elaborate.
So, I mean, I think we answered this question earlier. I don't think there's like a magic bullet, right? I think it's more engaging with the students, and the more they can see you and learn about you. I think, because obviously that question was, well, there's this, we tried this, and I don't know if it's working as much. Maybe it's because we only do it once, we don't really invest, or we've only done it once, right? So we're not doing it numerous amount of times. So, but I just didn't know if there's any other ideas of how to, you really attract the diverse STEM student on campus. If there's any other ways to engage them. I think you said earlier about maybe finding what they're doing, where they go, where they hang out, those type of things. So maybe that's another answer to the question, but I don't know if there's any other ideas or anything else to share.
This is our first year that we've been very actively recruiting for STEM hires, specifically for software engineers. Something we've been doing is attending conferences. So we attended Grace Hopper, which is a big national conference. And what we did is we had interviews on site and actually extended offers on site, so we could get those hires in the door. Again, this is our first year doing it, so we'll kind of see how that works out for us and if we're able to convert those interns into full-time hires. But that's one thing we've been doing. And we also attended ROMBO, which is another diverse conference, not specifically targeted towards STEM, but again, just another conference that we're trying to reach diverse talent.
What does the acronym stand for?
Reaching Out MBA, the LGBT MBA conference.
And you said LGBT.
And the first one's Grace Hopper, did you say?
Grace Hopper, yeah.
We attend Grace Hopper as well. We, Netby, Chef, Upperwork. I'm missing a bunch, I know. There's at least 12. That's, yeah.
National Black.
National Black. So we attend all of those as well. And then one of the schools where we get the most diverse talent is the University of Puerto Rico. The guys don't go there now because I go there.
You got a plan for November, right? October.
Oh, I go in September. They have a career fair in September for both their technical and non-technical talent. And Verizon's been going there for several years, actually, before I even joined the company. And we have a very, very strong partnership with them. And I mean, out of all, we had, I think, about 30 hires from them alone from that one school this year. And the one hire that we got that was not Hispanic was actually Asian, because she wanted to be at a school where there were a lot of employers attending. And she was the one Asian student on campus. So it worked out. She stood out, and we hired her. So, I mean, we talk about 100% diversity. There you go, 100% diversity. So, don't go there because that's my school. I hired them. They're for me. No, but I would definitely recommend going there if you don't already for both your STEM and your non-STEM talent. And I haven't. I mean, she went with me last year. And it was. There's some really, really outstanding students that are going there, and you'll get tons of hires from there.
A plethora of talent, women as well, and they're not scared of the math and sciences at all. They embrace them. I had high school students, middle school students approach me. They know about this particular fair, and they come and they want to know, what can I do now to start preparing? It was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
And my clients hired about half those numbers, and the feedback year in, year out is very, very strong, really committed, willing, and a very high conversion rate. I'd say, of our campus direct conversions, probably 20% of them are GPR alone. So it's a lot.
Don't get ideas, guys. No, but they really are good. I mean, we have one student actually, he interned with us since his freshman year and coming on full time into our LDP program this summer. So when they talk about committed students, they're very committed to the companies that they actually intern with.
3 years in a row, they'll come back.
Is anybody tied in like the marketing, the marketing departments in the large organizations? Maybe is there a constant collaboration between HR, recruiting, and marketing? Not only obviously like Verizon, for instance, will market their products and services, but is there a marketing focus with not only social media, but the different clubs and the different schools, and not only what the company does, but why it's attractive, what's going on in the employee community of the company. Is there, is anybody having people go out or doing like a public relations or PR or releasing a news release or press release with maybe that's focused more on what's happening amongst the employees and making it more attractive to that diverse pool?
I would say at Verizon, there's definitely a collaboration with marketing. We do have a social media team that really focuses on our employer branding. So we do work very closely with our HR business partners to identify talent to feature on our website. We had a high school outreach event recently at Rutgers, and our PR team actually put an article out. So we have to look about collaborating and communicating what you may be doing with them and see if there's a way to kind of link the two. That particular event, I had
we had at least 15 to 20 volunteers from one of our network operations centers hosting all those, that career-related event to middle school students, at Rutgers. So it is a lot of collaboration and putting things on our social media pages. It's just a matter of how much you communicate internally with your teams so that you can leverage it. But we certainly are doing much more of it now than we have in the past.
Yeah, I'm actually from Bonner, so we actually acquired a lot of companies recently, so we're kind of like in the mess of an identity crisis, if you will. We are going to be campaigning sometime in the July, sometime this summer, trying to define who we are, but at the same time we are working with marketing. As a matter of fact, we're hiring for a talent brand specialist that's going to help lead that effort with the marketing agency that we're working with as well. But on top of, I think one of the questions about what else besides attending conferences and going to like these clubs and stuff, we're also going to be piloting a talent scout program. So where we're actually utilizing our employees to be the ambassadors, like, you know, going out and talking about the stuff that they do. So when they go out to talk, you know, that's the place that people want to work.
No, that's different. I haven't heard that. Certainly I've heard companies talk about using their affinity groups and things like that, but you know, kind of the talent scout program, it's almost like a ambassador program?
Yeah, like basically everyone is a recruiter, right? Everyone that works at the company should be a reflection of that company.
Where are you going to be going to do this?
Where?
Yeah, are you going to different campuses, or are you going out in
Everywhere, yeah, social media, word of, you know, just any networking events, things like that, things on campus.
Steve was talking about it, kind of HR and marketing work together. I just wanted to share this because I thought it was really interesting, because I know and I've worked with employers a long time, and some of you know me and, you know, have been in these type of forums with me before. And again, when this VP of diversity, you know, just asked the question, is there anything new? They seem kind of the silver bullet. And there is no silver bullet. It's kind of everybody's still doing the same thing. And it's just a bit, again, how much and how often. So I'll give you an example, and someone asked me to talk about HBCUs, and we will in this dialogue, but one of the Fab Five, it's not just good enough to show up for a career fair and an info session and think that you're going to have this great impact on these candidates. And the Fab Five, which I thought was interesting, I don't know if they still do it, as an incoming freshman, they told them that by the time you graduate, you're going to be your best brand. So imagine how that plays upon the psyche of, you know, you thinking you're really all that. And you're telling me that, and I haven't taken my first class, but you're telling me during my freshman orientation that by the time I finish here, I'm going to be my best brand, so I'm going to know my worth. And you just showing up trying to, I'm Google, and what? That means what? Do you know who I am? So, I mean, I'm just saying, so, again, when you start talking about strategy, right, knowing where are the candidates. I'll speak for Rutgers, and this is a Fortune 25. They started sponsoring concerts, right, at Rutgers. And I mean, they're not using it as a recruiting event, but they're thinking about it from a branding event. They're cool. They sponsored this. You know, another company did things like, it was around, it must have been around engineering, and there was like, I don't know, build a race car, whatever it was that they did. And they sponsored the breakfast at that race. And they were just looking at who was emerging as the leader, you know, just kind of the observation. So, you know, sometimes when you start engaging that way, then you have to look at your investment. Is it really about recruiting or is it branding? Because sometimes it's just about branding. I just want you to see my name. That when you think cool, you're thinking me. When you say they care about me, you know, when I start looking at an employer, right, do they really care about me, or am I just part of the number? And, you know, again, that's about branding and engagement.
We've done some kind of, so when we think about campus, we know it's kind of a different beast, but we also have our campus initiatives, and then we have what we call some of our hubs, where we can focus on kind of the smaller schools we were speaking of earlier. So with that, we're going to have leeway where we can really think outside of the box and kind of think about what can we do where we're not just on campus. So we had an initiative that we've done recently where it was like a tech trivia. So what we did was we kind of partnered, with an organization, and we went on to campus. And what we did, we made it a game. It was a tech trivia game, and it was all surrounding, let me tell you a little bit more about Verizon, what we do here, and let's give some statistics about the schools. We kind of incorporated both, and we made it really, really fun, where, once kind of word of mouth got out, literally we had people giving us a call, hey, are you guys going to come back? Are you going to come here? We want this student group to be involved. So it kind of made it fun. That's one of the things we did for campus, so it kind of spread. And then for the smaller schools that we focused on, if you have the leeway, you have the budget, we also did a bowling initiative. And it sounded I remember when I went to my manager with it, they're like, what, you want to do what? Bowl? It sounded crazy, but it worked. We actually got hires out of this event, and what we did was we worked with the professors and the students to say, hey, listen, this is the pool that we're looking for. Can you guys have your top candidates come? We're going to sponsor, this event. We're going to have pizza there, bowl with the candidates, and we had 2 schools. We kind of bowled against, we had the schools bowl against each other, and we bowled against the winner. We had a trophy for the winner, and it was fun. We just made it a fun event, and what we said is, as we have people kind of just standing around, chat them up. We had our supervisors there, our different leadership, our management, chat them up, get to know what they're about, but we want to make it a fun event, and we actually yielded hires from it. It was fun and it was different.
I think this came from Lisa. Different schools have different visa policies, right? That's from you, right? All right, and how to best use CPT and OPTs, right? And I'm going to let you elaborate.
Yeah, so as I was mentioning, a lot of STEM students have the qualified pool as international students, so we're running into this little bit of snack with this internship. Like we found out some schools, if you hire an undergrad international student from them, they can only do co-ops, they can't do internships. And you have to sign some kind of agreement with them that they work 6 months, off 6 months to go back to school, and then come back 6 months, and it has to be a contract. So, and then some school won't let them use OPT if they're undergrad, so it delayed the start date. So I'm just curious, anybody had any experience, any particular school that's easier to work with than others? Because it seems like we have about 16 cases of international students, all of them from different schools. All the schools have different policies. We're all signing all different agreements for every single one. And so it's a big problem now with the hiring manager, right? They want the student, but now they don't want to accept a late start date, differentiation, and so just kind of curious if anybody else came across any issues.
Can I just ask you, so you have international students that come as co-ops, and there's like a target end date to this program, and that's it?
So we only offer internships, and we're very specific in our job descriptions, but now we're finding out that the international students who apply or got accepted, their school won't allow an internship.
Oh, so the school's not letting it.
Right.
So you're accepting them as a co-op then? Are you making that?
No, so we're at this point we're actually withdrawing the offer.
Okay.
Because there's whole budget restrictions, right? We budgeted for 10 weeks for certain headcounts, so we can't go into
right. No, I
whole year.
You're still taking on the co-ops
right.
now. I was wondering why would you do that then? But
right.
I understand that.
Right. So I don't know if you guys had. Or is most of you kind of just not hiring international students? That's another. So at my last company, that's what I did. I just made it a policy. But with the software engineering, like I was saying, it's very, very challenging. So I'm actually, the company was the business were willing to pay for the sponsorship. I was letting go of that policy.
Our product team does hire international interns, but not co-ops. So they stay at just internship.
Right.
But I think they're the only team here that does that.
Yeah, they have more the exception to the norm. Their particular roles are very technically specific, and they tend to get more of the master's level candidate and not an undergraduate. So if they're going to get someone international, they're more likely master's or PhD. But it's a very small number compared to everything else that we hire for.
So is everybody else sponsored here?
We don't.
Interesting. You do?
We do.
You do, okay. And do you have a quota, do you have a percentage?
We don't have a percentage, but we
Okay.
do, but again, we do for niche skill sets.
Yeah.
So it's not for everything and anything.
We have, you know, it's not a lot of people it is niche, but we found that OPT is a great way to try before you succeed. Because you have 18, I believe it's 18 months still.
So for stamps, they get
27.
27 months, 27
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
But the thing is, there's a lot of ODC companies, offshore companies who come and now hire all these people, so now the pool has gone down considerably.
Even shrinking.
So it's not only the STEM program, the students are less than, every year I don't see a lot of international students coming in
Really?
to do the program, but also the offshore companies who used to bring people from outside on L1s and other things, now they can't bring them as much. So they are going after the OPT candidates, so because that's attractive for them. Because they don't have to cater to, but with the new immigration bill changes, that probably could change. So, hopefully. It becomes easier for employers to hire a lot of candidates who really don't need sponsorship anymore, if that bill passes. But
It might be easier if you approach it from the side of the schools that you partner with and find out which ones have the, are going to let you do the internship versus the co-op, and which of their career services will work with you through doing the CPT's paperwork.
Yeah.
And then just
stay with
those schools
Yeah.
for that population, because that's what we do, and it works with us.
just pick some of the schools to work with.
Yeah.
And we actually have a person at our company who works in, well, it's our, like a shared services center, but she handles all of our international relocations, and she does that.
Okay.
So when we have an international student like that, we contact her and she'll facilitate that. But we can talk about it.
Okay.
Answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Good. And I just want to just share this. If anyone is looking for like kind of that experienced hire, I ran across a company and just was in conversation with them maybe a couple weeks ago, and they want to do something where they want to offer, I'm going to call it a midternship, and they have a pool of international candidates that are already, I think they're authorized to work here. They have the experience and the degree, but for some reason they can't get the position here. I don't understand it, have no clue, but they have this pool of STEM candidates. So if anybody needs that, I will be happy to share that. And you can contact them directly. So I thought it was very interesting. The next question, Paul, this came from you, Paul, right there. You asked best strategies for targeting, would you answer that? You kind of talked about it?
I think we're ready to talk about it.
Okay, we're good. And you said, you might have talked about this too, your company has begun looking into sponsoring STEM competitions?
Yeah, I think that was a high school.
At the high school level?
Yeah.
Okay. The one thing, just want to share a competition I went to. It was for engineering, and they did school competition, and it was seven schools across the U.S. and I think like a couple in Canada, and they had like this project. So they competed on the school level, and then the winner of the school came together and they competed, I guess, in that region. Then from there, that team came together and they competed nationally. And they presented it in front of, like, you know, the president, the CEO, and all these hiring managers, and diversity, the global diversity manager was there. And these kids, like, was the most amazing presentation that I had ever seen, like way over my head, but just the thought that they put into it, their presentation style, all of this was observed by the hiring manager. And from there, they were able to compete on a global level. And at the end of the day, it was an internship at any location of their choice. And so I just thought it was something that was fun. It was something that was engaging, just the whole experience. Look, I'm still talking about it years later. I know these kids were talking about it years later. And it was like in Jersey. And I remember afterwards, like we went to Lion King, we went to someplace that we did like Italian, made our own Italian meal, and I know the females were like, can you take it to Canal Street? I'm like, we didn't have enough time to go to Canal Street. But it was an experience that really, gave exposure to these smart kids. It was something that was something they had to give thought through, because it wasn't just, okay, we're going to do this next weekend, you know, it's over with. It was something that they had to really take time. And then at the end of the day, they got the internship experience, but then the hiring managers wanted them full time. And so I remember at this table, and these kids, they had already had offers. So even by the time they got to this competition, right, where I'm going to get in front of, you know, these serious senior leaders, they had already had the offers. So that just told me again, that best and the brightest, like, you gotta come. I just don't know what you do to get that best and the brightest. Someone asked the question, what is the best way to maintain your network of, and I guess keep your candidates engaged off season? You asked that question. Okay, so thank you, Steve.
I think, you know, I think you have to have, you know, you have a sales marketing program, right, for the company, for revenue perspectives, revenue, but, you know, what we're doing is our newsletter that goes out, it doesn't only go out to decision makers, for instance, it does go out to people that are going to have a database, that have specific skill sets that are core functions within our organization. So at least they know what's going on with the company, you know, what we're doing from a technical perspective, what our mission is, things of that nature. So at least they still know who we are from more of what the company does rather than what the hiring opportunity is. So it's more soft selling, soft engagement with them about what we do.
Hi, my name is Jamila from Marsh. We're an insurance broker, and one of the things that we actually hosted an event last week from one of our schools is Howard, and off recruiting season they host a program called the Summer Howard Intern School, and it's basically a week-long conference where they choose 50 of the best students in the insurance school, and they towards the end of the week they have a case study competition. But the week is filled with office visits or interactions with different insurance companies. So Marsh actually hosted a day in our Hartford office, and we were able to have interactions with candidates at different levels of their collegiate career. So we had experience with freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So that's one way of really interacting with candidates off season, because our name was out there. You know, we were able to show them what our office is like, you know, off season. So that's probably one way of just maybe hosting office visits off season as well.
Anyone else want to share around the engagement off season? Let's see. We kind of talked about this in the last segment, but it's come up again. Are participants channeling candidate passion as part of the recruiting process? And they want to know if you can share program success. And we kind of talked about it, but it's still here again. So again, channeling the passion, I think Chris, you to me have talked about it, or maybe that was your question. How to, again, being a small company versus a larger company, how do you make your company attractive, I guess, in the scheme of things or in the competition? Again, tapping into the passion of the student.
Well, being at, it's the jury's kind of out on that right now, because this summer is actually going to be my first summer. I actually had a few interns begin today, and the remaining will begin in the next week or